Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. Well, this is an interesting development. Today, Owlcat released brand new free DLC for Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, and it actually combines Wrath of the Righteous with Children of Morta. Don't know what Children of Morta is? Well, neither did I. Apparently, it's an action role playing game that multiple people can play, and it has roguelike elements. It was released back in 2019 by a studio called Dead Mage, and it was also published by 11-Bit Studios. Owlcat has added a quest into the game where you're going to be dealing with some of the characters from Children of Morta, and you'll be able to get some brand new accessories, including a cape, which from what I saw looks absolutely fantastic and honestly might be one of the best capes in the game. But the good times don't stop there, because they've also added two brand new archetypes into the game. So of course, you already know, we're gonna go ahead and walk through them. The first one is Defender of the Hearth, and it's under Fighter. You're gonna lose access to one rank of bonus combat feats, but you get a ton of them, so that doesn't really matter that much. You also lose one rank of weapon training, which is definitely impactful to you from an offensive standpoint, but what you get alternatively is so awesome that I think the trade-off is worth it. Same with losing weapon mastery, which is absolutely incredible as a capstone ability, but again, you're gonna get something really nice in return. So let's start at level 1. You're gonna start by getting shield block. As long as you are using a heavy or tower shield, the damage from the first successful attack against you in a round is reduced by 20%. At 5th level, the first and second attacks are affected, and then this goes all the way up to level 20, at which point the first 5 successful attacks against you will have their damage reduced by 20%. Obviously, this makes you significantly more tanky, and I think it's really nice to have, especially since you get it right at level 1. Those first 5 to 6 levels are some of the hardest in the game, so getting this so early, really nice. Then at level 5, again in exchange for one rank of weapon training, you're going to get Heaven Strike. Once per combat, you can deal damage to all enemies in a 20-foot radius with your main hand weapon, disregarding the range. And this action does not require an attack roll. That can be insane with the right weapon in your hand. Really awesome option. Allows you to be much more offensive with your sword and board fighter. I love this. I think it's fantastic. Really cool stuff, and well worth one rank in weapon training. And then finally, the capstone ability that you're going to get exchanged for weapon mastery is Defender's Gift. After a Defender of the Hearth uses shield block, which you got at level 1, you will be able to deal double damage with any weapon for one round. Now, it's not clear to me if you can stack this with Heaven Strike. If you could do that, obviously that'll make that combo really insane. But honestly, regardless, this is super cool and allows you again to take a sword and board type of character and make them significantly more offensive. I like this a lot more than Tower Shield Specialist. I think it's probably the best way to play with a heavy shield in the game. And so I'm going to go ahead and give this class an A+, because I feel like it allows you to do something that otherwise isn't all that fun or viable in the game. Really happy Owlcat added this. I might have to go ahead and give this class a whirl with one of my party members the next time I'm playing the game. And then the second archetype that Owlcat has added, which honestly I'm not nearly as excited about, is Keen-Eyed Adventurer. You're going to lose 3 ranks of hexes, which honestly isn't that impactful because you get a ton of hexes anyway, although it is a little bit impactful for 2 of the ranks that you lose to be within the first 6 levels. That's really going to stunt your ability early in the game to get some hexes that are really, really useful. But again, long term, not really that big of a deal. In exchange for this, at level 1, you're going to get improved cantrips. Cantrips that deal damage and require a ranged touch attack to hit have their damage increased by an additional damage die of the same type as the primary one. So if the cantrip is supposed to deal ice damage, the additional damage you would get would be ice, or if it's supposed to be fire, it would be fire, etc., etc. And then you're going to get additional dice for every 2 witch levels that you possess. So obviously this makes it much more viable to use cantrips for an extended period of time, and early in the game that's going to be really nice because it's going to help your action economy so that you don't have to waste powerful spells. Long term, whether or not this is still useful to you probably depends on your build. If you're much more focused on overcoming DCs and crowd control, this isn't going to help that much. But if you have a witch who's focused on damage, keep in mind that the witch's spellbook does not have Hellfire Ray, so you might find that these cantrips provide much more consistent damage than what you can get from your own spellbook. Now things get a little more interesting at level 6 because you're able to pick up Elemental Vortex. So this allows you to summon a vortex for a number of rounds equal to 1 for every 6 witch levels you possess. And then once it's summoned, you can attempt a combat maneuver check using intelligence instead of strength to determine whether or not the vortex will pull all enemies within a 10-foot radius into itself and deal slashing damage to them, which can be halved with a reflex save. But more importantly, with all those enemies close together, the right team might absolutely be able to make mincemeat out of them. So this could be really, really cool in the right party. And I don't feel like there's any other ability that's really like it, that allows you to just take all of these different enemies and then pull them into exactly where you want them to be. So this is definitely nice to have. And then finally, the capstone ability is Cantrip Mastery. When you cast a spell that requires a ranged touch attack, that spell deals additional damage equal to your intelligence modifier, which by this time would be absolutely sky high. This is all right, but again, by level 20, you're probably not interested in casting a bunch of cantrips. So maybe in some builds this really makes sense, but overall, I give this class a B. I think it's better than just a standard witch because the hexes you lose out on really aren't that big of a deal. But overall, I honestly don't think it's much better than many other archetypes that you have to choose from. And so personally, I wouldn't run with this. That's it for the content Owlcat has received all the way around. I think this DLC is great. It's free. You get 2 archetypes. You get a new quest. You get to meet some interesting characters who some of you might be familiar with. You get some new items, which can be very powerful. And the cape, in fact, levels up as you go through the game. So its functionality changes. Really, really cool all the way around. I think Owlcat did a great job with this, and I know they have at least one more piece of content they're going to release for the game when they give an upgrade for Gold Dragon. And I believe they said there are going to be some mechanics changes with that update as well. So definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully it's going to come out sometime this year, and then we'll see what the future brings. But regardless, hope all of you enjoyed this video. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.